Just wanted to ask you this because a large number of people constantly, when I speak with them, talk about where is the state going to raise the resources from. We've already seen a shortfall in revenues and you're hinting at a greater deficit. Where does the money come from?
It's very clear. The money comes from the central bank. Look, this is an area where we are outside the rule book. To expect that the government will raise all this money in the market at a time when people are wanting to put their money in liquid assets, you're just going to jack up the interest rate to impossible levels. Therefore, for the next 6 months, maybe for the whole of this year, we have to monetize the deficit. Now, you know, the way you monetize the deficit doesn't matter. I mean, you can print the money and the RBI can buy the bonds directly. That's actually not allowed. It can buy it in the secondary market, which has exactly the same effect. And you know, if the bank were to transfer its reserves to the central government, which some people have recommended, that has exactly the same effect. So monetization of the deficit is unavoidable. But what I am saying is that this should not be part of a long-term strategy. This should be part of a management strategy for the current year. Right. On the assumption that next year we'll know what the situation is. Now, let me say, if the recovery is slow, well, we'll have to live within that. But I don't think we should be thinking of cutting expenditures in the current year, but we should certainly slow down expenditures next year. And frankly, we should look at tax reform. I don't mean by that raising tax rate. You know, it's well known that India's revenues to GDP ratio, about 16–17%, is 5 to 6 percentage points below taxable capacity. This should not be met by knee-jerk, quickie reaction. Yes. For God's sake, let's set up a top-level committee. I mean, that's what was done in 1991 when the Raja Chelaya committee was set up. Set up a top-level committee and put on the agenda a sensible set of tax reforms, which the government can then outline before the next budget and implement. You know, the very knowledge that the government is thinking along those lines will reassure a lot of people. Whereas these sorts of delaying action and giving time for everybody on WhatsApp to put forward their solutions doesn't, in my view, help.